Hello there! Welcome to my channel. First of all, I would like to thank all the new subscribers who have trusted me by seeing only one video. I hope you like this one too. For those who do not know me, I have written several short stories. You can read them all on my website, link in the description. Several of which have won honorable mention in national and international literary competitions. Last time I talked about why you should write short stories, so today I would like to provide you some tips on how you can set up such stories. Here we go! Number 1. Take notes. Write down every idea that comes to your mind at any time, however small it may be. Do something like a bullet list on Word. And when you talk with friends about particular topics, always think if you can write an interesting story out of it. For example, two of the stories you find on my website, The Astral Plane and Xenomelia, you know what, English speakers? You can read only one of these two stories on my website, because I still need to hire a professional to get Xenomelia translated in English. It is very expensive to translate every short story in English, and so if you want to make it possible, please support me on Patreon. I wrote them inspired by topics that came up when I was having dinner with a friend that has a twisted mind. Just joking, Ella. Number 2. Short stories are concentrates. A short story usually ranges from a few hundred words to a few thousand words. If you look online you can find approximate ranges, but I'm hesitant to put limits both low and high. Let's say if you go over the 10th page of Word, it may be a little hint that the story you're writing isn't that short. But even if short stories are short, it doesn't mean that they lack structure. A short story is a concentrate on narration. However, characters still need to be developed, and it may go through all the phases of a novel. So, beginning, inciting incident, development, a breaking point, ending. How the structure will be largely depends on the type of story you're writing and on what you want to focus on. Number 3. Less is more. What is better to avoid in a short story? Given its short duration, no subplots or many secondary characters are needed, because there is enough meat on the fire. Here in Italy we say there is enough meat on the fire. Do you have a similar saying? I don't know. Let's say that there is already a lot going on. Also, wanting to write a short story, it's better to go straight to the point, narrating what you want to narrate without getting lost in useless details. Number 4. Outline. It is very important that you have in mind where you want to make the story go right from the beginning. Since the text must be synthetic, there is no time to just start writing and go on randomly. You would just end up delving into unnecessary details. So I advise you to think carefully about what you want to write and make a list of points that you want to go through, both for the plot and for the development of the character. This way you will have a clear idea of the progress of the story, and it is also a good way to know if the story is worth writing, or maybe if it is uninteresting and needs some more idea to be added. Number 5. The idea. Remember that a short story does not need a complicated plot with many ramifications. Often a concept that makes the reader think is enough. Often the basic idea is enough if narrated in a good way. For example, in my story Fast Animals and Slow Hunters, the idea was just to focus on Arvid's sensation, both physical and psychological, during his first transformation into a werewolf, while in Point of No Return I just wanted to explain the homonymous concept. Number 6. The twist ending. Personally, I often like to end short stories with a twist ending. As mentioned before, in a short story there is no time to go through a complicated plot, but there is definitely the time to describe a situation and then twist it with few final lines to surprise the reader so that he or she remembers your short story for the rest of the life. Number 7. Read to win. Read to win! shine till you die, till the light is in your eyes. If you're still wondering how short stories can be structured, we're always there. To learn how to write is essential to read. Go on my website to read my stories, link in the description. And if you want to read a bit more famous authors, I recommend Fredric Brown's Sentinel. You can find it in many anthologies, and The White Ship by H.P. Lovecraft. I leave the titles and names in the description so you can find the stories easily. Both are wonderful stories, and I highly recommend you to read them. Also, I recommend you to watch the serie Love, Death and Robots on Netflix, because it is an anthological series consisting in 18 short films, which all but 2 are adaptation of short stories. Not only those shorts have a special technical quality, and I'm sure you will like them, but this way, in a short time, you will see a lot of transposition of short stories, each with its own structure. To those who can be skeptical to learn how to write by watching animated shorts, I say that you are wrong! Cause idea, cliffhanger, structure, outline, rhythm are all things that short films and movies has in common with short stories and novels. It's just that the first ones are transmitted by images on a screen and the last ones by words on paper. But if you learn to manage all the above mentioned steps, you'll see that you will have no much difficulties to translate what you learn from the screen to paper. And that's all, folks! If you like my stories and videos, consider to support me on Patreon. And of course, subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, ring that fucking bell, and I'll see you next time. Bye!